السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. اللهم اغفر ذنوبنا، اللهم ارحمنا، اللهم ارحمنا عجلينا، اللهم استخدمنا في خدمة القرآن والإيمان والإسلام. اللهم ارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه، وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم نور قلوبنا بنور الإيمان والقرآن والإسلام وبمعرفتك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Amen. Now we are here. Now we studied before. Let's go back to Shu'ara, verse 19. And we just tied the subject to the beginning. Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and to convey the message to them. And they said, we bring a message from the Lord of the words. We talked about the importance of this phrase, the Lord of the words, because Pharaoh claimed that he is the Lord of Egypt. He said, look, we are employed by the Lord of the whole universe. So they asked Pharaoh, let the children of Israel go with them. And Pharaoh said, just started accusing him, not giving any reason why he shouldn't let the children of Israel go with them, because they were enslaved, cheap labor, or really very cheap labor, slaves. So he didn't have any reason that he shouldn't let them go with them, but he started accusing him. That is the dialogue goes on with believers and non-believers. Usually, the believers come with a reasonable, acceptable suggestion. Unbelievers uses other means rather than giving a satisfactory answer, other means to suppress the belief, if you like, in general, belief in the Lord of the universe. Excuse me. Now he said, did we not bring you up? It means, did we not, was I not your Lord? Because we discussed the similarity of the root of two words, Rabba and Reba. You repeat. So Quran says it is mixed up with lordship and also bringing up, looking after. This word, we studied this, that as a child among us, we fed you. It means I was your Lord. Did you not stay with us for many years? So did we not take care of you for many years in our household? So let's see what Moses will say. Then you committed that crime of yours. You were so ungrateful. Of course, he went back again, what he did before, and again, accusing him that he was not a good man. He was a murderer. Moses was a murderer. Although the Pharaoh was killing many children of Israel, children of Israel. So he didn't see that he was doing something multiple, thousands more times the same crime as he views it. Moses said, let's see now. You were so angry. That is the accusation. You were so ungrateful. We brought you nicely as a nice person, but you were ungrateful. You killed an innocent man. Okay, but let's see how Moses will behave. Inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. فقال فعلتها إذن وأنا من الضالين. Yeah, Moses says, yes, you are right. I did it while I was of those astray. Of course, من الضالين, it means I was brought up in a family household of you, and of course you are the person as my educator, trainer, or taking care of in this world, as you brought me up, and that is the householding conditions, or my mistake as well. He is not denying it. He is not accusing back. He says, yes, I was one of those who went astray. It was a completely wrong thing to do. I admit that. I think it has also a kind of flavor in this, that I was brought up with these conditions, but later on I corrected myself. I straightened up myself. So he admits it. That is very important to admit that if we do something wrong, and rather than defending it, looking for an excuse, we have to straight away admit it. So it is a good lesson for us as well. So the following verse, then I fled from you in fear, because you wouldn't listen to me, to my asking for forgiveness, repentance for what I have done as an ignorant man that time. We also studied this event long before in the series of these classes when we started Moses' story. Now, later my Lord gave me wisdom. Now, I found out the right source of education, my Lord. And he gave me wisdom and made me one of his messengers. Why do you think God makes a man who murdered a person and who was grown up in the most notorious man, Pharaoh? In the example of the Quran, we don't know who Pharaoh is or was, none of our business, but he was the symbol of anybody who is extraordinarily aggressive, self-conceited, proud, arrogant man. In order to impose his power, his egoistic desires on people, he could do everything. That is the symbol of this worst man on earth, used in the Quran as an example to teach us the extreme points. One is Pharaoh, now Moses. But at the same time, Moses was brought up in Pharaoh's householding. We worked on it, studied on it in depth last week. What does it mean as compared to our life conditions, completely secularist education system invaded everybody's minds and feelings and the society in general, worldwide. Flood is everywhere, but flood is destructive. But at the same time, if you use a means guided by your creator, it means represented in you, in your conscience, within your own soul, then you can utilize this flood in order to survive and save yourself and those people who are with you. It means we are expected to make our own ark under the guidance of our creator and utilize the wrongdoings, the secularist education and its influence, and also secularist worldview in order to survive. How? See it, how horrible it is, how wrong it is, how misguiding it is, so that we will understand that this is something essentially vicious. So we have to look for solution. Now Moses in this story represents the person who has done something wrong by following a general trend of the society by mistake again, not deliberately, though, doesn't matter, really, he did something wrong. He killed an innocent man, although he didn't really attempt to kill it for something with bad intention, in order to gain money or in order to gain fame, in order to protect and preserve his status, etc. Not those purposes. He was innocent, untrained, with no experience of his own of life. So he was trying to implement justice in the society, but it didn't really have right criterion that time. It was quite normal when we were young. I remember my youth days, lots of crazy things I did. So, but later on, I learned, inshallah, I'm still learning. So in order to correct myself, put myself into a straight ground, inshallah, or leveled ground, smooth ground, correct ground, inshallah, trying to do it, all of us here. That's why we are here. We are trying to do all of this, actually. Yeah, together. So, I fled from you in fear. Why? Because what we understood before from the previous verses that we studied, then as soon as he realized, Moses realized that he did something wrong, he asked God to forgive him. Now we understand from this a mystery, if you like, the mystery of asking for forgiveness, repentance, returning back from our mistakes, bad habits. That is the mystery. It does not only save you from the sin of the bad action we commit, but it elevates you much higher position in your human qualities as a human being in the eye of the Creator. That is why after asking for forgiveness, acknowledging his mistake and repenting, then God gave him wisdom and made me, as the verse says, one of his messengers. God promises me in this example, if you commit a sin, that is in the past. Don't mention it anymore in the negative way, but repent, turn back. Ask God to give you guidance to do the right side of it, not the wrong side of it. Instead of killing people, now try to revive people's heart, people's life as much as you can. Because you understood that killing is very bad. That's why repentance represents here. So he has been given messengership, if you like. It is a very sensitive subject, by the way. Not everybody should do something wrong in order to become a messenger, but going through the life experiences, many different kinds of life experiences, we may even do the worst mistake, make the worst mistake. Still, we can utilize it, turn it the other way around or upside down. We can do that by acknowledging it, not trying to produce false excuses to justify it, but admitting it before God and asking God that you acknowledge what you have done, so that, please God, guide me to the right one. This was wrong. I understood. We all understand that. And we should, actually, if we didn't, but I think we all do now. The main fundamental teaching of the Quran is La ilaha illa hu. Very precise formula, solves the whole problems of this world, explains the reality of this world, gives us the most effective methodology. This is the formula we have to use. La ilaha illa hu. I cannot guide myself. I cannot do anything right by myself. Only the one who created me can do it. Who created my feelings can teach me how to use it in the right way. La ilaha illa hu. The one who created me with these feelings. Only he can guide it. I cannot really put myself on the right track by myself. I may guess what is right, what is wrong, like Moses did. He thought he went to the marketplace, in the public place, and wanted to stop injustice. He had a good intention, but one of his fellow tribesmen asked him to help because somebody was fighting with him. He just innocently jumped into the matter and hit the man only, not used a sword or any knife and anything. Just hit a man with one blow and man died. That is an excellent example. You may have a good intention, but it is not enough to have a good intention. You have to investigate thoroughly in order to take an action. So he didn't investigate thoroughly. It was a mistake. But with a good intention, doing something wrong, he killed a man. It was wrong. the result was wrong. That was a beautiful example for us. We may have a good intention, but if we didn't have the right criterion in our hand, we have to educate ourselves before passing a judgment about anything. The Quran gives several examples of it. And David's example is the same. This Moses' example is the same, but it is our subject now to concentrate on Moses' example. So that is why we have to learn what? Wisdom first. Wisdom from what? Just taking lessons from our experiences. And by using our mistakes, understanding that they are mistakes and trying to find out what is the opposite of this so that we will learn from it. That is what we need to seek wisdom from our Creator. But wisdom cannot happen by itself. Wisdom needs guidance, teaching. Teaching what? By whom? Who is our teacher? The one who created our feelings, who created us. So he teaches us through his wisdom. And his wisdom is transferred to us through messages, through his messages. It means speech, declaration of his guidance in the form of spoken language, which is necessary for me to understand everything clearly. Otherwise, I need to really vaguely investigate around the world through my errors to find out what is right, what is right, what is right. It may be a problem for me because I may confuse because I didn't have the criterion. That's why Quran describes himself, the speech of God describes himself as the criterion, Al-Furqan. That is important to ask the Creator how to use what he has created. For example, he created me and my feelings, and I have to ask because I have free will. I choose the right way or the wrong way. It is possible for me. I may guess something because I have been given some sort of innate wisdom, but as Moses did, it needs to be perfected by the guidance of my Creator. So after learning the wisdom from under the guidance of the Creator, and then you can be appointed by the Creator again if you really are sincere, serious about finding the right way. God appoints you to take his message to the people, convey it to them, and represent the message, God's message, in your personal life. Now, Moses must have realized his mistake so deeply, sincerely. At the end, as a result of this repentance, this realization, God taught him the wisdom and sent him away from this despotic system and got his, if you like, teaching in an innocent atmosphere where he got married and he worked for some years there in order to get this, in order to learn how to live in an unpolluted atmosphere. So we have to watch out our friends, we have to watch out our neighborhood, etc. We have to watch out our education systems. So we have to try to find a way to educate, train ourselves in if it is possible, as less as polluted place. I don't know whether there is any place in the world that is not polluted yet. Everywhere is under the influence of this worldwide, uh, secularist worldview, let's say. It's everywhere, ubiquitous. You can find everywhere. So he was appointed as a messenger. That's why he was brave enough to come back to the palace and spoke to his stepfather. Don't forget, Pharaoh was Moses' stepfather. Pharaoh has adopted it. So he knows the person, he knows his influence, he knows his power, Moses knows Pharaoh's arrogance, but he was brave enough now because he has the evidence, strong evidence in his hand, provided by his creator. So he's brave enough to go back now and challenge his stepfather. I think it is called stepfather, or do they have, is there any word for it? That a person adopts a child, this person is called?
That's correct.
Stepfather? Okay, thank you. Now, and Moses carries on now, doesn't stop there. I am the messenger. No, I am the messenger. I have to fulfill the requirements of being a messenger. I have to fulfill it. It is the duty put on my shoulders, endowed on me by my creator. So the verse 22, and this is the past favor with which you reproach me. So therefore, you could continue to enslave the children of Israel. Look, because I did something wrong, I repent and I learned what is right, and I'm coming here to save the innocent, oppressed people, and you are trying to justify your arrogance and oppression over the children of Israel, and justify to make them enslaved under your control, serving you. Is it the way of justification? If you are saying that, that is important to notice. You cherished me, you took care of me while I was a child. It is a favor for me. Why don't you do the same favor to the children of Israel? So you say that you were my Rab, huh? You claim that, and that's why you favored me. Why don't you use this favor for the children of Israel if you are a good man? Oh, it is a little bit puzzling now, Pharaoh. He is looking for an excuse to come up with an excuse or a counter argument. Let's see. Before going further, is there anybody who would like to share his views, questions, concerns, or further explanations, corrections? I love it. Or rejection that doesn't make what you said. I am free. I am ready to receive everything from you. Right? So far, nothing, no force. Okay, carry on thinking about it. Let's go. Next verse. Next verse says, no. This is the next one. Pharaoh said, what did he say now? Pharaoh said, what is this, Lord of the world? It is interesting. Pharaoh says, وَمَا رَبُّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Ma Rabbul Alamin. Ma is usually used in Arabic for unconscious beings, meta. Yep. For example, plants, animals, not human beings, any conscious being. So, for example, angels are used with men, not ma. It means conscious, aware of what they are doing, beings. Human beings, men. It means not in English man, in Arabic man. It means not ma, but man. But who, man is who, ma is what. That is important. So what is this, Lord of the worlds? Because we understand that these people who cannot imagine that is the one who initiated, originated the universe, created the universe, and he's still creating it. That is, all the existence depends on it. Any time that we experience the existence, past and future, whatever we can imagine, but right now we are experiencing the universe and it needs to be created. It cannot give existence to itself right now. So it is given existence, or it has been given existence by a conscious being. They cannot imagine this. They are thinking of this world in terms of matter. They think that another kind of matter can be maybe the cause of the existence of this universe. They cannot think of a conscious being who originates this universe, creates it. They cannot think of it. Even there, the question infers that, but what is this? Come on, show me one of the things in this material world as to be the Lord of the worlds, Lord of the whole universe. You understand the mentality. He is this person, Pharaoh, represents what? Obstinate man who is ignorant of reality, and he doesn't want to learn the reality. So 24, verse 24 says, Moses replied, the Lord of the skies and earth, heavens and earth, we are used to this expression, and everything, and all among them, whatever is within it, all the ingredients, that is something subtle here. All among, because we may think that, for example, a person is one creature, yeah, a unique creature, but his hands are unique creatures. His heart is unique. It is a unique creature. His tissues of the heart is a unique creature, and the atomic structure or subatomic elements in this cell or in the tissues of the heart are all unique creatures. They are all everything enwrapped, if you like, encircled, if you like, within each other, everything in it. Now he is the Lord of everything then. If you have any intention to be convinced, now it means, are you ready to think about it? Are you ready? Do you really intend to understand what I mean by saying this? The Lord of the heavens and earth? If you are, pay attention to this. Everything, including it is layers of compact, perfectly adjusted creatures, beings, layers of it. Nothing exists on its own. It means something in this world which doesn't have any component parts, which doesn't exist in this world. Why? How? Oh, go and ask those people who study the universe, the skies, the galaxies, those people who study the atom and subatomic world. You will see them. We cannot find it because the source of existence of this world is not a limited being. So his love, his power, his qualities will be restricted within a one particular element. No. All of his qualities must be present and manifested in the existence of every layer of creation as much as human beings can go. It means if you want to go out into the sky, even your imagination, you cannot get to the end, even with your imagination. Think about it seriously. I tried, impossible. You try as well. Because when you come to the end of the creation, you are face to face with what? Non-created being. It means non-existence. You cannot be face to face with non-existence because non-existence does not exist. Exactly the same phenomenon can be observed within this very possible for human beings possible to see smallest fraction of the creation. If you find the last point, the further, the beyond of this last particle, you will find nothing. That is impossible. Nothingness means non-created being. Non-created being is non-existent. Non-existent being. Non-existence doesn't exist that we can experience it. This demonstrates the limitedness of human capacity as a created being. Not necessarily that we are not given enough capacity. We have to understand, I went a little bit into a very deep subject now. It needs a serious reflection, but it is possible for all of you here. You are intelligent people. I appreciate your quality. You may understand and grasp this matter better than me. So, not because we are limited. I don't like this word limited. Human mind is limited. Human capacity is limited. I don't like it at all. Why? It's not right. Why it is not right? Are we not limited? Are we infinite? No, no, no. The term is not right because we are created. The nature of being created necessitates that I have to have inequality to come face to face with the absolute being. Sorry. With the absolute being. It means infinite world. I am a created being. I cannot become a creator. It means absolute, infinite source of existence. I cannot get out of the universe the capacity which is created. It means I cannot get out of my createdness. That is my reality. I have to acknowledge it. You don't have to be an astronomy expert or physicist or, I don't know, subatomic world or whatever it is. You don't have to be an expert on it. Use your logic. It makes sense. It's very easy. You don't have to be a very highly educated person. Just use your intelligence. You understand that. That is why human beings are not limited. Human beings are created. Limitedness infers that my creator has not given me enough capacity. No, my created me with my perfect capacity within my createdness. But of course, I cannot expect God created me as another God, which contradicts the logic. Why? Absolute cannot be doubled. Do you understand it? That is another subject. That is what we have to be very careful to attribute any quality to any created being as to be the source of existence of anything. Not necessarily the simple matter Jesus cannot be God. That is very simplistic. It is very easy to understand. I don't know, people are making fuss about it because of some, I feel that some other hidden biases, agenda against Jewish tradition, competition between Judaism and Christianity. And of course, later on, Islam joined this monotheistic religion. It is a monotheistic religion as claimed that God is peerless. That's incomparable with anything. He is absolute. He is ahad. Ahad in the language of the Quran. It means you cannot compare it with anything. Peerless. Finish. You cannot liken him to anything of this universe. But their historical source of competition is with Judaism. Jewish people said God cannot have any son, anything. So they said, no, Jesus is better than your religion. Jesus' religion is better than yours. Jesus is better than your Moses. It is like a childish competition. Forget about it. But the main problem is not Christian claim about Trinity. The main problem is now we are facing, and it is within us. It has been injected into our way of thinking that the matter itself has the quality to give existence to itself. So it is eternal now. Or another version of this materialist interpretation of existence, the matter is causing another matter to come into existence in another form. It means the matter is effective, a cause, a matter, and a matter can be an enough cause for the existence of a thing which changes its position in this world. It means it is affecting the other things. So they don't say it so clearly as we present it here, but how they do, they use a very ambiguous language. How they say how nature works, how nature improves, makes progress, gets better by itself. That is the word. By itself. Not they are created in this way. The order of the universe is arranged in such a way that although the order is fixed, but the way the fixed order functions continuously change the production. Continuously change the production. How? Because the way it's fixed is realized by the one who is the absolute being. He is not, cannot be restricted by any means. That is what we understand Tawhid. Nothing can have an effect on another thing. This is the order, therefore, this is the will of the Creator. How he manifests this is acts of creation. We have to understand this matter seriously. It is a very serious matter. So there is no point in competing with Christian theology. We have to not only compete, radically reject and deny the truthfulness of what secularist, materialist education imposes on us. We are in it. We are not in a church that listening to a priest. We are in a place, in an education system, in a civilization, which really forces us to think in the way it teaches us. And by all means, not only by teaching through education system, but through advertisements, through media, through general fashion followed by the people, they all are geared into the teachings of the secularist, materialist ideology, which is nothing but claims that the universe is functioning by itself, within itself, through the cause and effect, chain of the cause and effect, which is called natural development or evolving the things by themselves. Accidentally happen to be like this. That's why they say order out of chaos. Now, the existence of the world was in chaos, but it worked this way, that way, and suddenly innumerable things fell into a perfect order. How? That happened. That's why it is continuing now, without distracting itself. That's the theory based on complete conviction, according to them, if it is a conviction, in fact, really claim that matter is the source of existence of itself and other things as well, the developments, improvements, evolving to become better fit into the environment. How? That is the result of chance. We have to be very careful. So, the question was tricky. In verse 23, it says, what? Wema Rabbul Alamin. What is this, Lord of the world? Moses says, okay, it's a conscious big detail. Come on, give the general and very obvious reason. The Lord of the heavens and earth, it was sky and earth and all of the universe, and all within them, in between them. It means the sky and what is enwrapped in it, all the layers, the segments of the creation, which has no end at all of them belong to him. He is the Lord of it, creator of it. If you want to look and consider so that you will be convinced about it, but it is up to you to think, to reflect. Okay, let's see. what the counter argument is, how rational it is, how reasonable it is, or is there anything that the Pharaoh will say that it is really somehow it really makes sense, an acceptable reason. Look at the answer, how ridiculous it is, but it doesn't mean that Quran presents in this way. People here, especially in the era of science, doesn't speak like that. They say scientific facts prove that the things are acting by themselves. Here it is, the results of laboratory works. Of course, we have to understand that this is the fundamental thing. What they do. Pharaoh said to those present now, he turned around them. People, his assembly was there, his nobles were there, his counselors were there. So he said, do you hear what he says? Come on. Ila testami'un. Did you hear it? Look at this guy. What is he talking about? How ridiculous it is. Okay? It may be ridiculous for you. What's your answer, man? Tell me your answer, your reply, your counter argument. Say that the heavens and the earth and in between them, whatever it is, all the parts of it, don't need a Lord. It is as it is by itself. It gave existence by itself. Everything gives existence by itself. And explain it. How? Now, leave it there and come to us, our century. They say, okay, natural laws. Where is it? And the things act in this way. But the things act in this way does not necessarily that there is a law imposed on them by themselves. Of course, if I do something regularly, you will say this is the principles of acting of Ali, my acting. Ali wakes up, let's say, every day at certain hour, let's say at 6 o'clock. So this is, I observe always. I always see Ali waking up at 6, waking up 6. So I take it for granted that this is the law of Ali's life, to wake up at 6 o'clock. Okay? But is there any factor which makes me wake up, necessitates me to wake up, or it is my conscious choice? It is the choice of the order of the universe, which is established by the creator of the world. It means this is the way of the act of the creator of the universe. He creates the things always like this, in this way. Is there any law independently existing as a force or as a power or whatever you call it, as a knowledge, so that it will impose itself on the things? But these qualities, power, knowledge, wisdom, whatever, can be represented or should be represented in the form of matter within the universe. What the Quran says, what Moses represents here, no, everything is in its entirety. But the universe is continuing to exist within the order of the universe under the will of a conscious being. It means the conscious being, there must be a conscious being who has absolute qualities to give existence to this world, because we cannot find any of the qualities, any of the thing which has or which is the source of these qualities, which has these qualities in order to give existence to anything, let alone the whole universe. For example, you can ask, come on, show me a thing which created, gave existence to an atom, or made an atom, created an atom. Show me anything within this universe, of this universe. I will not believe in God or anything to do with religion. No faith at all. But one thing, somebody should demonstrate to me that this thing is the source of existence of an atom, not the universe, an atom. Come on, show me. Now, let's put the charger on, the battery is dying. So we understand that the answer Pharaoh has, this is the representative. I mean, we can say that Pharaoh is the representative of today's Pharaoh. Who will tell me who is today's Pharaoh? It is not a person. I mean, we don't have much time, but if anybody helps me to describe today's Pharaoh, it is not a person. Sorry.
Scientism.
Yeah, the idea of scientism. Science will find everything. Science will be a source of discovering the truth, reality. What do? There is a problem now. People call it problem. I don't, but people call it. I don't think you do as well. A problem. Problem of virus. So this virus, what do? They said, we can find a vaccine for it to defend the attack of this virus. Fine. Where are you looking for to find the vaccine? Where are you looking for? The already existing universe. They will investigate the way to produce the vaccine within the already existing order of the universe, which is given by the source of existence of the universe. They didn't know, we human beings didn't know how to make the vaccine out of using the order of the universe. We didn't know. We worked on it, people, the experts worked on it, specialized people worked on it, and found out in the order of the universe. It means the order of the universe means the way it is created, the way it is given. There is no universe plus order. There is only one existence, and this existent being has given existence within an order, not an independent entity. The order is not an independent entity in the universe. No one can ever show me the famous, for example, the law of gravity. Where is it? They say, look, everything drops, everything attracts to itself. It is how, and I don't know, atom, let's say, I don't know the technical word, pulls the things to itself. Where is it? That is how it is. Remember the example? The law of Ali's life is to wake up at 6 o'clock. How do you know? Is there any such law? No, Ali wakes up at this time. If you like, go and see Ali's life. Go to his house and see he will wake up at 6 o'clock. Now, is there any force, anything which necessitates that Ali will wake up at 6 o'clock? No, this is Ali's choice. Of course, Ali is a conscious being. I hope, inshallah. So it is his choice. Anyway, now let's come back here without really scattering the subject. So he doesn't have any proof. Today's Pharaoh, scientism, has no any proof, but claim how the universe is working, not anything which gives existence to another thing, which gives existence to the order, nothing. Just how it is working. It means how it is being created, how it is being given existence. It is so simple. So he doesn't have any answer. Pharaoh, in the example, today's Pharaoh has no answer, but claim. That is why people say, we trust scientists. And do I say the same thing? No. I trust the creator of the universe, which he gives any illness, but doesn't give the illness only, gives his remedy in the order of the universe, within the way he creates the universe. He says, that is what I do. That is what you have to find out so that you will understand how my way of creating is wonderfully arranged, perfectly, consciously, in a wise way. It is arranged so that you will understand how my qualities are infinite. Nothing is missing. Nothing is confused. Nothing is contradicting each other. Everything seems to be opposites, but perfect order. So everything is under my hand. Whatever I decide, I create in this way. That happens. Nothing happens apart from my will. But the answer is, by Pharaoh, they say, oh, look at these religious people. They are lazy. They don't discover. They don't say discover, invent. They say, no one can invent anything. They just discover what is in the universe, already created. But unknown to human beings, we have to scratch the details and find out. It is there. It is already there. So we say scientists found the remedy for the virus. Where did they find? Did they create it? No, they found it. They discovered it. They say these religious people speak a lot big and we believe in God and they don't do anything. They do. But when they do something, do you let them publish their understanding together with their findings in the laboratory works? Impossible. They dare not. Impossible. Why? They will be fallen into prostration as the magicians of Pharaoh fell. That's why they cannot let anyone with a discovery. Again, he found out in the lab, as a result of his work in the lab, find out and said, this is how the universe is constructed by a perfect, absolute conscious being who is called, everybody knows, the creator, God. If you see any article published in the 20th and 21st century, in the scientific journals, they call it, it is a terror area, which can even hint that the things are arranged by an absolute being, by a conscious source. Impossible. They will never, ever let you publish it. And then say, look, the believer, those people who claim that they believe in God, they are lazy, they don't do any scientific work. You don't let them speak as they want, as they believe. Even they publish their articles in the accepted journals. You just put the restrictions that you should never ever refer to a creator, but only within the area of the matter. It means within the universe. That is why they think the believers are not studying the universe, because they create, if you like this word in quote unquote, the atmosphere that none of the believing people is doing any kind of scientific research, understanding how God creates this universe in the perfect way. Unfortunately, that is worse than Pharaoh's magicians. The Pharaoh doesn't have any external body here, but it is the terror ideology taken up the authority, supported by the, again, by the materialist administrators, and they claim this on a impossible to accept base. So we have to wake up, inshallah. Next week, we are late. Next week, we have to start from, again, Shu'ara 26th. No. Right? Yeah. Verse 26, inshallah. Thank you very much. I'll see you next Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.